Hi, and welcome to another edition of Jules Voto's Photo Focus. In this video, I'm going to be looking at the sharpness of Nikon's 40mm 2.0 Z-mount lens. Now, I've spoken about this lens before in a travel video that I did. It was part of my lightweight travel kit. And I also used it for a high school basketball game along with the 85 1.8. But I really want to look at sharpness primarily in this one. And we're going to see it shot on my standard test setup. So the lens, it only weighs 6 ounces or 170 grams. It's 6 elements in 4 groups. It has a 9-bladed aperture. It will focus down to 11.4 inches, takes 52mm filters. It has a plastic lens mount, which really doesn't bother me at all. I've had lenses in the past with plastic mounts and they held up well. It also will take the Nikon HN3 lens shade from back in the days of AI and AIS lenses, and you can still find those lens shades. Now, I also compared it to Nikon's 24-70 2.8 at 2.8 and 5.6. And another thing, I have put all the images you will see in this video in a gallery online, and I will put a link to that gallery, and you can download those pictures for free and examine them yourself. So here we are at 2.0 with the 40. This is the full image out to the edge. This is my standard test setup. And let me just explain a little bit. You will see in the center there is a index card that lists the lens and the aperture. And you'll notice f2 is circled in red. And as I shoot at each aperture, the last aperture circled in red is the aperture that was used. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so just a couple more things about this. Some of these, most of these objects are on the same plane, okay? However, some of these cameras, lenses are set back a little bit. And that's especially true for that Nicormat on the left. That's about 6 inches back from the front of the lens on the Nikon EM. And you will notice that there's a little bit of vignetting. However, look at that more on the left than on the right. On the right side, my lighting is not quite that even. So if it appears there's more vignetting on the upper right, I don't think that's really the case. So sharpness is surprisingly good for this lens at f2. And you will notice that this was cropped to the center. So I cropped just the center section of the image, and good detail in the hair. And the point of focus was on that 300mm lens to the right of the mannequin as you're viewing the image. And I use pinpoint focus on the Nikon Z8. Here we have the left side. And again, I'm pleasantly surprised how well it holds up. No, it's not as sharp on the edge as it is in the center, but very usable. And you could see that in that Pentax, the lens on the Pentax on the left. Okay, now we're going to go to the right side. And again, holds up really well. If you look at those extension tubes on the top of that Nikon box, we have good detail there. No, it's not as good as the center. Would never be expected to be as good as the center. But really pleased with even the contrast with this lens. Colors look really good. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2.8, and the vignetting has improved, if you notice in the upper left. And lens is very sharp at 2.8 as well. I mean, it sharpens up a little bit. The edges are a little better. And I've posted these pictures, as I said earlier, in a gallery online. You'll be able to look at them for yourself. Okay, now we're looking at the center, cropped into the center. And again, I mean, I just keep repeating myself, I guess. This lens, for a very inexpensive lens, and it sells for under under $300. I paid a little over $200 for a refurbished version. And here we are on the left at 2.8, and the lens on the Pentax, if you look closely at that from the images that you can download, you will see that that lens has sharpened up, and there's a little bit more depth of field. That lens on the Nikon is starting to come into a little bit sharper focus. Now we're going to the right side. Everything here on the right side is pretty much on the same plane except for the flowers. And you got good detail and good contrast as well. Now we're just going to look at a few images at f4. I only cropped in to the left and to the right. I mean, the center is a very slight improvement over 2.8. And on the left, again, we get a little more sharpness on those cameras and lenses towards the back because we're getting at f4 a little more depth of field than at 2.8. And again, same story on the right side, still very sharp. The teleconverters on top of the Nikon box on the right look really sharp, and that's pretty close to the edge of the frame. Okay, now we're looking at the center at 5.6. I shot some at f8, but I really didn't see any improvement, so I didn't include those pictures. But 5.6, really sharp. I would not hesitate to use this lens at 5.6 for anything. Really nice. And now we go to the left. Again, much of the same story. Now there's more depth of field, so some of those cameras and lenses in the background start to become sharper. And also, if we notice the globe, we got some good detail in the globe as well. And then finally, with this 40, we're going to look at the right side, and we get a little bit more sharpness than we did at f4. And as I said, I would use this lens for anything at 5.6. I will also include a link to those two videos, the travel video and the basketball video, that have some images from this lens. All right, now I went to the 70 to 200, which is an excellent lens, a 70 to 200 2.8, and shot it at 2.8. And while I think it's a little bit better than the 40, not by much. And here we are zoomed into the center. Nice contrast, good detail. And again, I would say just a little bit better than the 40. So look at these images for yourself. All these images are available for free download, and see what you think. Now we go to the left edge. Much of the same, a little bit sharper. I think you could see that in the Pentax lens. Just sharpens up just a little bit, maybe a little bit better contrast. Hard to tell, really. It's really not that far apart. I don't think you would notice if you didn't see the pictures side by side. And even then, it's not easy to tell. I should say there's not a big difference. And now finally, we go to 5.6. I didn't bother with f4 for this lens. We go to 5.6. I shot at f8, but I didn't include those either because 5.6 is probably the best aperture for the 24 to 70 and also for the 40. Here we go to the left edge. Again, the main thing here is as you stop the lens down, obviously you're getting more depth of field. So some of those objects going back start to sharpen up. That Canon lens is a couple inches back from that Nikon lens on the EM. Now we come back to the right side, and as I said before, the right side, everything's pretty close to the same plane, and that's why everything looks really sharp. So in conclusion, I think the 40mm lens really holds up well against a $2,200 lens. I'm not even sure what the 24 to 70 is selling for now because they're always running some sales, but it's over a $2,000 lens. And this little under $300 lens holds up pretty darn well. And it's great that it takes 52mm filters. They're very inexpensive, and very pleased with this lens. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I usually publish a new video every Monday morning and Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.